Hello, I am Maxius Slight, and this is the 13th, I think, tutorial on 7 Days to Die. Now, we've covered a huge amount in the 12 previous videos, and it's been mostly the basics, moving on to some advanced stuff. In this video, I want to look at the advanced features that Alpha 16 brought to the game. We have seen some of them. We've seen the painting, we've seen some of the other stuff that's fall away floors and things like that, the new block rotations and a few other bits and pieces. But I think the biggest update for the game, which kind of changes it, is electricity. Now, electricity's electricity. So let's just get straight into it. We'll come over here. Oh, well, there you go. That's just a little example of what I wanted to show you. I'm going to switch that one off. That's a very, very simple setup. That's a generator, which I'll go into all of these parts in detail in a minute. Generator to a wire, that's a tripwire. As soon as I hit that wire, it sounds an alarm. Okay, so how do you do this stuff? How do you make this work? So what we're going to do is firstly look here at the banks. Okay. The kind of power banks that you have at the moment are very simply, you need to go up on this roof for a minute because you'll see why in a minute. We have a generator bank, we have a battery bank, and we have a solar bank. Now, the solar panel and are available only at the traders, as we've discussed before. Now, if you look, the sun does have a rotation. It starts here. It starts in the south, I think they've got it, and it goes over to the north. So when we put the solar banks down, we need to be aware of the sun. So I think something like that is going to get half the day's sun. But if we put it like that, I think that's going to achieve 3/4 of the day sun. So we'll spin it because that's what we obviously intended to do, I promise. Okay, we'll put that down. It doesn't make much difference at the moment because we're not going to be using this, but I just wanted to show you. So the sun's on it and it will come across the sky this way, and hopefully that should give us the most amount of exposure. You open up the solar bank and you need solar cells. Again, these are only available from a trader, but I've got some here. Let's grab those. Should have grabbed them before I went up, but never mind. Here we are, we're doing this. This is a thing. So we stick these in and you can see they go down the slots. Now, maximum outputs now become 116 watts. Okay, so if we go into cells, I want to get a really shitey one. There we go. Right. I want to demonstrate something to you really quick. This is a level 581. Remember, we can combine the items on the workbench to make 600. And it is important for level because one solar cell there at produces 29 watts. That's a 581. That's a high level one. But if we take that out and we put in this level 95, which is a lower level one, it only produces 17 watts. Each bank which you buy at the trader, I think there are 5,000 dukes for one, only holds 6 cells. And if you've got a complicated base structure, you're going to want as many high level cells in there as possible. So there we go, that's solar cells. And what I would use these for in conjunction with the other cell thing is the battery pack. Okay, the battery pack, we need a schematic to learn. I've already learned it, but this is the only one that needs the schematic. So it looks like that. You need to find that. This is a battery bank, and we're going to put that up there. Okay, in the battery bank go, believe it or not, batteries. Who'd have thought it? Again, now this has got 284 watts of output. Okay, but they will lose charge. They will discharge their charge, so they need to be recharged back up again. So using the solar panel, you can connect to this. I'll go into connections a bit more later. I just wanted to cover these first. Now the next one I wanted to cover is the generator bank. Okay. Now the generator bank is gated behind a skill. I can remember. Yeah, there you go. Generator bank is a perk. Battery bank is a schematic. So there we go. Generator bank requires science 2. So you do know, and then let's go into science. Now I've got science 10, but if we go to 2, you have to be minimum level 5, and I think there are other requirements, I can't remember what, but to get that bank you need that level 5 science 2, and you can get it. Then you need a workbench, as we've spoken about, and you need these parts, and you can build yourself a generator bank. And we're going to put our generator bank, I think, about here. And the generator bank has a different interface-ish to the others. Again, we've got the slots here. If we put the one engine in, the really crappy one, it works out at 56 watts. Now if we put a 600 in, that's 100 watts. So as you can imagine, 6 fully maxed out engines, which if we cover a lot of engines, put them on the workbench, it is feasible to do. Excuse me. Will give us 600 watts. Now, the battery bank can turn on. That's on. That's ready to dish out power. Now I can connect something to that, and it would be fine. It would work. The solar bank, the same thing. The generator, however, needs engines, but it also needs gas. So we grab some gasoline, and we fill it up. Okay. Now the generator is going to work. Okay. To be honest, I think the progression is intended to be generator, battery bank, solar power. Okay, that seems to be the way the skills are set up, and the game's got. Oh, sorry, I'm still in cheat mode on falling through the floor. Same setup. The generator is cheap and easy. You just need a skill. It's not that hard to make. The battery bank, you need. Let's go battery bank. Not so many parts, but you need to find the schematic, which can be troublesome if you depending a lot on luck, along with the randomly generated loot thing. So I would say probably the first electric you're going to use, or most people are going to use, is generators. Problem with a generator is when they are switched on, they act as a forge or any other, like the chem station, the workbench, etc. So they will generate an impression on the heat map, and it will help to generate screamers. Sorry, my brain went a complete blank then. So now we've learned about how to generate electricity and in essence store electricity. In my mind, the way I have it set, when I'm going to do a proper playthrough with this and get this done, is I'm going to have a generator or 2, probably 1 with, if I can get it. Let's say ideally I'd have 1 like this, 600 watts, running everything, switches and relays, which I'll go into in a minute, controlling all these different things. And basically I would have that during the day, a solar panel running on during the day, charging up a battery bank, and at night I could switch off the generator and switch on the batteries, so that then I can work away at night and what have you. So that would be the ideal. But at the moment, this is what we have. So let's move on now to actually using the electricity. Okay, first thing we're going to need is a wire tool. Okay, this is a wire tool. I won't put it on yet because it gets a bit confusing. Now, wire tool, you can craft in the workbench. Now, I believe it's gated behind level of science. Yeah, I think so. I can't remember exactly. So let's see if it will show us, because I've already got the points. I'm not sure if it will allow us. Craft medical thing, electricity. Maybe electricity. Electricity basics. That's 2. So there you go. Level 1. There we are. Okay, so you need electricity basics 1, which you have to have science 1 first in order to make these items here, which include the wire tool. And then when you get item 2, it allows you to make these items here. And then obviously you need those for the traps and so on and so forth. So you make yourself, or you can loot wire tool. They are available in the world. They bring up a different view of the world, which can be a little bit confusing once you've got the stuff up. So be prepared for lots of yellow lights and flashy things. Now what I mean by that is, look at this here. When I'm holding the wire tool, you see those wires that I've put in. It shows you the flow of current. So we have the current coming out of the generator bank, into this item here, into this item here, and into this item here. That's the flow of electricity. Okay. It will also, on certain items, if you look over there, I'm not going to show you too much because of cheating. That's the field of view of certain items. Okay, and that will show you when you're holding the wire tool here. So what do we do? What have I done here is I will disconnect the wires here. Okay, and I'll show you again how I set this up. And what this is a tripwire. You can get these tripwire posts and a speaker, which is there. A very simple tripwire post, one there, a speaker, and a power source. So you go to your power source, as we've mentioned, you put power into it, you right click, because if you left click it gets rid of the wire that you have. Right click picks up a wire from the item you are looking at. Then you look at the next item that you wish in the line, which is this electricity tripwire post, and I click right click on that to attach the wire. Now you see there is power going from the generator down the wire to this post here. Now I take a wire from that post and run it to this post. Now it's become a tripwire, so it's got a different color, but the current is running across here. And should I pass between those two lines, it will then tell this post to do the action next in line, which is, or the power or whatever. The next thing in line is the speaker. And if you click onto the wire trap there, you can adjust. Let's reset that back to triggered, and it won't make much noise. And what this is now is you can have different delays or different delays here. So maybe once the tripwire is hit, you might wait 10 seconds for something to happen, which might not make sense right now, but if you've got other things attached to it, 10 seconds might be the right idea. But in this case, I've got a speaker which I want instant. You want it, if you have it just triggered, it will only send a message when it's triggered. Okay, it does help if I switch the generator on, actually. Okay, so for a speaker, triggered is no good. No good at all. You might be able to find something that's useful on that. Unless I stand in, it doesn't do anything. So, the only time this is any use on triggered is if the item is stood on a tripwire. Now, zombies, etc., don't stand still for long. So, no, don't do that. What we do, we'll give it 5 seconds. So now, sorry, close that again. I didn't mean to close that. It's instant, which is the power delay. So the power will then go on to the next thing in line. instantly, and it will give power for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Done. So there you can see. You can have that on many settings. Let's switch this off because it's going to be irritating. Okay. You can have this set up 1 minute, 10 minute, 30, and then you got always. So once this is triggered, that will always be on until something else happens, like you can maybe put on a switch. So we've looked at what kind of generation, we've looked at wire tools, and we've looked at a very, very simple circuit. Now let's have a look at some of the other options available to us. We have, what box did I put them in? This one here. We'll have those, we'll have one of them, we'll have one of them, and we'll have those. Okay, so the next thing to understand is in the official description of this, there is parent and child items within the circuit. This is obviously the parent, this becomes the child, but it also becomes a parent to this one. It's a bit complicated. You can only connect, you can't connect this to another, as far as I know. No, there you go. You can't have two parents connected together, right? So you can't have two power sources connected together, but you could have two, sorry, you can't even have two power sources to one child. So basically, you either have it on that battery bank or that battery bank. Because, yeah, that was what I was trying to explain. Parent and child. This is a parent, this is the child. You can't have two parents to one child, which is a bit odd, but there we are. So, let's have a very easy, instant, so another very simple circuit like this. We're going to put a light, a switch, a light like that, and we're going to go from the, press my buttons, forgive me. We're going to go from the battery bank to the switch to the light. Okay, and now, even though that's powered on, and then you can see the circuit working there, the light isn't on. However, that light doesn't work. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that light. That was weird. Let's try a different set of lights. We'll get rid of those. Industrial lights is probably why. I've done it with those. Those I know work. Okay, so we'll try again. We'll put that one in the circuit. Okay, now that should be on. Turn that on. Now, it's pumping out power to here, but the light isn't on. Switch the switch, the light comes on. So you can have anything on. We've gone from the basic circuit here to where the tripwire activates it. Like this one. Let's put it on. Yeah. So we can reactivate our circuit with this. Or we can have it with a switch in between. So, I mean, in this close proximity, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you can imagine having a power room and a base with lights and different rooms in the lights, you can have the power coming from the parent, the power source, to a switch in a room, and then having this becomes the parent for every single light in the room. The current will stop, and when you walk in the room, you can switch on the lights and have lights. So it's kind of cool. As far as I'm aware at the moment, it's impossible to have a power switch like this to switch on the power source. You have to manually switch those on, which is a little bit of a bugger, but there you are. What else we're going to do? Oh yeah, motion sensors. These are cool. I like these a lot. Now, let's take out the switch in the circuit. put in a motion sensor, power the motion sensor. Okay, now we have to interact with the motion sensor because reasons. There's lots of different things to do here. Now you can have this as a, we'll call these turrets because there's a few different ones like this that you can move, operate and so on. So this is the options for a turret. Okay, here, who will it target? These are the four categories. Will it target me? Will it target my allies? Strangers, so that could be even beasties and animals, or people who are multiplayer, and zombies. Okay, power delay. We're going to go in instant again, and we're going to go for 10 seconds. Now, down here on the turrets is the cool feature. You can click on that to have a preview of, look, there's me, there's Max. Hello, Max. Okay, you can have this as a preview for the area. So you see where the cone of interest is. That's where it's going to activate. Okay, so let's leave that there. Make sure the battery thing is on. It's on. The light is off. As you can see now, it doesn't detect anything. So the circuit, even though the circuit's running and the power's on, the light doesn't come on. Okay. I'm going to move the light down here. We need a block. Block. I do apologize for the fat fingers thing, but there we are. It happens. Right, we're going to put it here so that we can see it when it activates. In fact, we'll probably just why don't we do this? A little bit of something a bit more special. Right, we'll wire that. Now, this gives me the opportunity to explain to you that these wires have a range. I think it's something like 10 squares. And if you look, what's the wire? When I get past here, it goes red. Okay, and they will droop. And if you want to make them look pretty, and you want to go extended over that distance, you'll need some of these. Now these are wire relays. Okay, I use them mainly for keeping things tidy, and again, if you want to go over the 10 square range, then you're going to need one of these blocks. So let's put that one on. Here's a really cool thing as well. The wires you can put through blocks, so they don't have to go around. I can now log, as long as it's within range, I could connect to something inside the house. The wire will go straight through the block. Not a problem. So you can see there, look. And from that one to that one. Right, so let's make it so that light goes out. Reset that. And we're going to run around this way because we don't want to activate the system. So in that little circuit we have those lights, and as you can see, those lights are not on. Okay, not at all. There's nothing happening there. But as I run around here, bang, the lights come on. Motion detected lights. Okay, it doesn't only have to be lights. There are other things, as we spoke about the speaker. So these are instantly active items. Now let's look at a few. These are kind of useful, and we can have lights, and it's all kind of cool. Now, what about actually doing something to defend yourself? Let's take those. We'll put that one there and that one there, and we'll wire this up again from this one, and then to this one. Alright, and then we can, no, oh, that's just to pick up. There's no, okay, there's no interaction with that one. So right, let's switch on the power for this. And this is electric fence. I'm now electrocuted. Let's go to my shot. B. Oh, I wasn't quick enough. Okay. B. Shocked. Movement speed reduced by 10%. And I think I'm in God mode. Hang on. Yep. God mode. Let's remove God mode again. Sorry, I need God mode on to do loads of flying around and setting this stuff up quicker than I would by doing it normally. So let's run through here. There you go. My movement speed reduced, and it actually does quite a bit of damage while I'm being through it. So if you look, I'm on 90 hit points now. Damaged. Done almost 30 damage to me. So that's quite significant damage. Okay, let's switch that off because I don't want to damage myself anymore. Let's take that. I need some more first aid, please, because I'm donating my body to science, apparently. So that's electric fence. You could have it for an emotion. Let's try this, for instance, as a setup. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. And we'll have this on here. Now, interact. Well, let's say this is the route in. And we can set this to obviously take me off, take my allies off, such as strangers and zombies. So let's say this is the approach to your base. Okay. Now, this should work. I can walk through it. Yep. Now, let's quickly, so we don't want to spawn 25. Let's spawn a Arlene. Come on, Arlene. There you go. Arlene. She got electrocuted. Now, that for me is kind of cool, right? Oh, I've actually got that still set to the 10 seconds. So let's have that. Let's have that on for 30 seconds. Let's see what happens if we put it to 30 seconds. Well, that's 30 minutes. No, we don't want that. 30 seconds. Let's do that. And pop ourselves in another. Let's go for a Marlene this time. Marlene. Oh, no, Marlene is in the wrong place. Wait. Marlene from Honey for Sources. There we go. Right, there's Marlene. Now she's going to get shot for 30 seconds. Let's see if it's going to be enough to... Yeah, she's having fun now by the look of things. That's actually killed her. There you go. And again. What? No, that shouldn't have happened. Why did that happen? Oh, it's still active, that's why. Okay. So let's reset it. And I can run through that, no problem. Zombies, on the other hand, can't. It's kind of cool. So, next thing in the list is a thing I'm sure most of you have been waiting for. The turrets. Now, let's put this over... We can run from that one, can't we? One. Well, no, I don't want that one. Pick that one up. And one of each. Now, I've only got a shotgun turret. Let's see now in here. Electric fence. Electric fence post. There you go. You need basic parts. Okay. Let's have a look for the motion sensor. This video, I'm a little bit more distracted than I have been in others because this is kind of new to me as well as it is to most people. So I'm not 100% au fait with how everything works right now. I know the relays you need those parts to make it in a workbench. But if I remember rightly, the relay... No. Oh, that's the insulator. Okay, the insulator is something that you need in the building or something. I can't remember exactly what it is now. I'm trying to remember what you need the insulator for. Give me a second. Oh, I think these are electrical devices. Well, there you go. And whenever they come up, you need them. You'll be able to make the insulator. Otherwise, you have to buy it from the trader. Sorry about that for the distraction, but I got a little bit confused with that. So the relays you can make quite simply. All these are quite cheap and easy to make. Now, if you go back to remembering the video we did on the wrenching, you wrench down a load of stuff, you get lots of electric parts and all these kinds of goodies like this. So the parts for these are not exceptionally hard to gather. However, you do need quite a lot of them. And I think the hardest part of what this is, getting this, the turrets and the mechanical stuff and the electric that I've shown you, is the skills. The skills is far more difficult to obtain than the resources. The resources are not that heavy. So let's, again, we've gone parent to the child where the action is. Okay, so let's look at the, again, we have the same interface as we did for the motion detector. We can, no, we can't yet because it's not powered. Oh, that's because I've got the motion detector in the circuit. I'll have to take that out in a second. Now, this is the shotgun one. You can have it target yourself, target your allies, target strangers, target zombies. Okay, you put in the ammo here. Obviously shotgun shells. This won't work until you lock in the ammo like that. Okay, I'm going to have to change the circuit. So let's get rid of you. Let's go from you to you. Get rid of that in the way. Okay, now simple circuit goes from the battery here. We can have a switch. We can have these on pressure plates, which are plate which would then do the same as the tripwire. The tripwire could be here. Motion sensor. All of those things we've covered could be attached to these turrets. And the last one I forgot to put down this. Let's put you there. You, let's say the firing face. I think that is the firing face. And just check 1 second that I'm not going to have this pointing into the floor or something. I can't. There we are. Right. Yeah, it wasn't in the right place. So, sorry for those who are wondering, I'm using night vision goggles. Just because sometimes changing the colour palette can help me see things. So, right. I did that wrong. Now, we need the ammo for that. And here we go. Now, preview the camera again as we did before. Lock in the ammo. Same with the darts. This one you can't preview the camera. And you have to lock in it. That one just fires. Okay, so this is a constant fire. So whenever this is receiving power, this one will fire. This is I wanted to show you this separately to the others, but it's kind of doing the thing now. So let's disconnect it. A good way for these would be use for these would be things like the tripwires at the other end of here. You could have the tripwire sending a signal for 10 seconds. This could be a corridor sending a darts down, and let's pop just one Darlene there. Ah, okay, I forgot they're switched on. Yeah, this isn't going to work with a demonstration like this. So the dart trap is constant. As soon as it receives power, it will fire. The turrets, as you saw, are triggered by anything in that yellow cone. The focus of fire will be in the blue cone that we saw on the preview here, but they will fire outside of that cone. If you look here, the cone moves to that side, but now the yellow cone is actually larger than that. So they will fire outside of the blue, but the blue is where the focus is. So if you've got a lot coming in, they will focus on that point. Okay. So now we'll pop in one or two. No problem whatsoever. So there you go. Okay. The other thing to show you is the other things you've got here are pressure plates. Now pressure plates act like this tripwire. You put one in the ground, you put the power to it, and then from it you will activate whatever you want. So we could replace this tripwire in this circuit with a pressure plate, and it'll do the same job. Step on the pressure plate and the alarm will sound for the given time. Or you could have a pressure plate in front of the tripwire, for instance. It could replace any of the detection devices, the wire, the pressure plate, the motion sensor. Any of those can be interchangeable, and depending on how you want your circuit to go. And the other key to remember is to put in the units inside. So sorry, let's go. I'm getting myself confused here. 1 second. Now, the key to remember, let's go from the beginning, is the quality of the item inside the bank affects how much power it is. The bank is the parent. Where it goes to is the child. You can only have one parent to a child, so you can't, as we were discovering, put two parent wires to the child wire. You can't have that one going here because it doesn't make any sense. Okay. And if we connect that one up, it disconnects that power. And we have different types of devices that are mostly all locked behind the skills of electric and traps and so on. And in a circuit, you're going to need power into a device, and then tell the device what you want to do when it receives power. You can have a interruption or a device to put timers. There are these timer relays. Sorry, you can put one in that has a timer on it, so you can say power comes to that, wait for 10 seconds before you go to the next one, and so on. And you can make quite complex circuits, but I don't want to get too much into those because it really does become a little bit heavy duty. Just easy to remember: generator bank, battery bank, solar bank. Each thing has something inside. The quality of that item depends on, will vastly correlate to how much power it's going to kick out. The battery bank is a schematic. You have to find the schematic first. The generator is a perk. The solar panel is a trader board. The rest of the little items in this list are all pretty much under the skills tree and learning the skills, and then you just need the resources. So I thought I'd end this video with all the stuff that we've shown so far. I thought I'd quickly build something, and it just took me a little while, about an hour or so to build earlier on, and I thought I'd show you. Not even an hour, half hour or so. Before I do that, I've just seen something I wanted to quickly highlight. We spoke in the first video about drops, airdrops, and whether to keep the marker on them or not. Looking at that compass, that's the yellow marker there, because I've just had one before I started the video, and this marker here is where it is on the map. So if I run that way, I'll find the box, open the box, and get the goodies inside. Okay, let's get back to the fun. This is something I have come up with. It's got some electric circuits, it's got some surprises and traps. One of the traps I didn't cover over there was this one, which is the spinning blade trap. I don't really need to cover that to tell you what it does. You can see that what it is. Okay, so let's get up here and prepare ourselves, because we have to kind of move quickly-ish. Go to F6. We're going to spawn. Actually, we're going to wait. We have to do something else first. Make sure that one is off. Turn this one on. Okay, we are powered on. Now we want that up. And as you can see, the spinny blades, they're quite happy down there. They're chopping away. Now, let's pop ourselves in 25 of those, 25 of those, 25 of those, and 25 of those. Now, I just spawned in 75 zombies. And here they come. The sound's gone funny on it for some reason. But anyway, let's switch on the gun turrets. Now you can't hear me. For some reason, let's do this. Now you can hear me. For some reason these guys aren't coming towards me. That's very strange. They should be. Let me go back up top. It's because I switched off zombie spawns in the game, so I can do the thing. I've now got to spawn in zombies, and sometimes when you do the spawn in like that, they act a little bit strange. I'll just fire off a bunch of rounds and see if I can get their attention. There we go. Right, now these guys are coming. Let me go down here and round these guys up. Now you come on down here. I don't want to walk on there. Come on in, you lot. Yes, and as you can see, I had a collapsing floor with a spinny blade inside. Isn't that nice little... I can actually stand here. I don't need to be inside the suicide box. They're not going to get through this. Look at this. Come on. There you go. And there you are. Let's try something a little bit more crazy. That was just 75 regular zombies. Let's drop in 25 ferals, 25 ferals, and 25 of those. Now, oh dear God, look at that. This has gone mucking nuts. Whoa, crazy, crazy lag. I don't know how many I've just spawned in, but the guns are going absolutely bonkers. I think these guys are going to break through here, because these are all feral. Yeah, this is just a wee bit on the crazy side. The lag is real. You would never see this many never seen this many ferals in one place, I'd hope. But if you do, and you build something like this, you're not going to have any issues. I think I've got my gun set to the wrong place, because they should be taking care of these. Either that, or they've run out of ammo. Oh, okay. So that's a thing. Apparently ferals can climb up and get into the hole. There you are, who knew? Right, well I think that is a good place to leave this one. Obviously, I don't think you're ever going to come across 120 odd ferals or however many I clicked in. I clicked loads of those buttons and there was hundreds of them. And they were all feral. But the base took care of most of them. And that's the kind of thing you can achieve. I mean, obviously I've used top-end stuff and all been cheated in. But, yeah, there we are. I no longer have... well, there we are. I'm here, I'll find it. Okay, so... that's that. That's electricity and advanced bases, advanced defences. I hope you enjoyed this one. I certainly had a lot of fun making it, preparing all the stuff ready to go. And I'll speak to you soon. Ta-da! Hello, me again on the same video as before. I've just come back to my base, and as you're aware, I got killed at the end of the video. I thought I'd left the door open, the hatch, and the zombies had come in and chomped on me when I wasn't watching and I wasn't prepared. Turns out ferals are pretty damn tough. They smash their way through these concrete blocks like they weren't even there. These are solid reinforced concrete blocks. They have 20,000 hit points, and they just mash their way through that. So yeah. Be aware of that. Later on when you get to the ferals, they're pretty damn tough. But you're never going to meet that many ferals in one go. So don't worry too much. Anyway, thought I'd just share that with you. Take care. Ta-da.